You know, sometimes it's better to just stick with what works and don't mess with the formula. I had to learn that lesson with today's video. I've already recorded this once, I already edited and exported it, and then I just decided, you know what? No, that's not good enough. Let's do it all over again. Now, with that said, Activision owns the largest, most popular arcade arena shooter out on the market, which of course is Call of Duty. Something I've been seeing a lot of people talk about is how they're jumping ship from Call of Duty and they're swimming over to XDefiant Island, and they're taking safe haven over there on the island. And the reason why they're doing that is because they feel that XDefiant has just outclassed Activision. And if you want to find out why that is, then give this video a like. My name is Buckeye, and welcome to XDefiant Guides. It all kind of started back in 2013 when Call of Duty Ghosts released after Black Ops 2. Now, if you guys remember, Black Ops 2 was pretty much the peak in terms of popularity for Call of Duty, at least from what I have seen. You can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But the point is that when Ghosts came out following Black Ops 2, there was a lot of people that were not particularly happy with the game, and they thought that it was a bit of a downgrade. Now, the reason why this is important is because that game sort of started a trend that would continue on and on and on until our current day now with Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 just on the horizon. Now, that trend is a growing mistrust between the gamers and Activision and the developers. Specifically, I'm saying a mistrust from the gamers' perspective of Activision and the developers. Now, there are a variety of reasons for this mistrust. Following Call of Duty Ghosts, we had the jetpack era for Call of Duty with Advanced Warfare, Black Ops 3, and Infinite Warfare. Now, Black Ops 3 is widely perceived as one of the best Call of Duties ever made, but Advanced Warfare and Infinite Warfare fall very, very, very low on the totem pole. And at the same time, something else that was developing in the Call of Duty world was skill-based matchmaking. Now, SBMM had already been around in the game for a long time, but it was generally pretty loose and it wasn't super strict. But as we got into these games, it started to get a little more strict, and now we have a very strict SBMM that people have been complaining about year over year for a long time. And if you guys remember, in Advanced Warfare, that is when loot boxes finally made their way into Call of Duty, and you could literally spend money to buy loot boxes and get better weapons from the loot boxes than what you could use in the regular game. Now, why am I mentioning all these things? Well, it's just simply to paint a picture that for a long time now, there has been a disconnect between gamers and certain decisions that have been coming from Activision and the developers for Call of Duty. And that has even further come down the line with Warzone being introduced to Call of Duty just a few years ago. We have kind of found ourselves in a position with modern Call of Duty where the main point of emphasis from Call of Duty is actually Warzone and not their 6v6 multiplayer. If you are a Call of Duty player today, you definitely know that there is a severe lack of focus from the devs on the 6v6 side of the game. All of the hype, all of the cool stuff that gets added to the game is centered around Warzone. Now, this is not a video to say that Warzone is bad or anything like that. I'm just simply stating that the focus of 6v6 has started to deteriorate over the last couple of years. So again, I'm letting you guys know that there is this sort of difficult situation between some of the Call of Duty community and Activision and the developers. Now, real quick before we get into the rest of the video, if you guys are interested in more XDefiant content, this YouTube channel is completely dedicated to XDefiant, both videos and live streams every single week. So do me a favor, if you want to catch more of that content, subscribe. Okay, let's jump into something that happened recently in the gaming world and with Call of Duty specifically to further prove my point here. If you guys are unfamiliar, there is a fan project, or there was a couple of fan projects. There was one called Xlabs and another called SM2, and basically the whole point of these projects were to provide the Call of Duty community with a safe haven, a place that was safe to play, where they could have all of their favorite maps, modes, guns, and everything from all the best Call of Duties in the past. It was sort of like a combination of a lot of really awesome previous Call of Duty stuff on a safe mod that anybody could play. Now, the reason why this was a really big deal is because as of right now, if you go on Steam or you go on PlayStation and you try to play Call of Duty Black Ops 2, for example, the game is completely overrun with hackers, and it is an unsafe place to play. I mean, seriously, if you go on there, you are literally in a vulnerable position where your information can be taken from simply playing Call of Duty. It's really kind of fascinating that this is a thing that is still going on Meanwhile, they're still charging you full price on Steam to purchase these games that are literally broken, and you are at a risk by simply playing them. So these fan projects were kind of a way for you to be able to play these games in a safe way. But this past May, Activision came down and swung the hammer and gave a cease and desist to both of these projects, letting them know that they need to cease production on these projects permanently, effectively killing the projects altogether. Now, this is incredibly unfortunate because basically, if you want to go back and play a previous Call of Duty, you just can't unless you have no problem being put at risk. Hey, real quick before we move on, when I live stream XDefiant, which by the way, I do multiple times a week, and especially once the game comes out, I'll be doing it all the time, I multi-stream here to the YouTube channel at XDefiant Guides, but also to my Kick. And the link to that Kick is in the description. I'm currently trying to get affiliates on there, so if you want to help me out, definitely go and give me a follow. Now, here is a little bit of good news regarding this whole Call of Duty situation here. Microsoft is in the process of trying to purchase Activision Blizzard King, and sometime between Activision taking down SM2 and Xlabs, and right now, Microsoft went out of their way to actually fix the servers for these previous Call of Duty games on Xbox. Now, they're not perfect, but they are significantly better than what they were in the past, and you can actually go and play these games now, and you're really not at a risk anymore. But the unfortunate thing here is that that is only on Xbox. If you are a PC gamer and you play on Steam, or you are a PlayStation gamer and you got your PS5 or your PS4, you just can't do it. Unless you want to roll the dice, of course. Okay, I've been talking about Call of Duty for forever now, so what does this have to do with XDefiant? What in the world can I be talking about Call of Duty about on an XDefiant channel for so long? Well, let me break it down for you. Every single day on this YouTube channel, I get comments on old videos, new videos, community tab, literally everywhere, where people are talking about how they're so excited for XDefiant and they can't wait to uninstall Call of Duty. They effectively hate the game now. They may have enjoyed it in the past, but they have absolutely no desire whatsoever for the game anymore. And here's the thing, I don't actually subscribe to that opinion. I have had my fair share of very strong opinions on a lot of the recent Call of Duty games, but I do not hate Call of Duty. And in fact, I actually enjoy the general gameplay of MW2. I have a lot of issues with the game overall, but the gameplay I generally enjoy. And if you guys have seen some of my previous videos, you would see that I actually believe that a successful XDefiant and a successful Call of Duty is better for everybody. So for me, I don't think it's a bad thing that Call of Duty is around. But there are a lot of people that have serious problems with Call of Duty and truly feel that XDefiant is sort of a safe haven where it is a place that they can be accepted and enjoy their experience and feel like their feedback is actually listened to from the developer. And we've talked about this before. And one of the biggest reasons why the community feels this way about XDefiant is the fact that there is a very much renewed focus on the 6v6 arcade arena style shooter gameplay that we have in XDefiant. As I mentioned earlier in this video, Call of Duty is kind of shifting their main focus away from their 6v6 and onto Warzone, the big battle royale mode. But with XDefiant, they're actually doing the exact opposite of that. Mark Rubin has explicitly stated that they have no interest in doing anything battle royale related anytime soon, and they are completely solely focused on creating an excellent arcade arena style shooter experience for the players. And this is huge because truly the only other games that are out there on the market that are like this right now is pretty much Call of Duty and Halo, and there's really not that much else. You've got Destiny's Crucible, but that game doesn't really get updated on the PvP side that much ever, actually. Another huge thing that people are saying is just outshining and outclassing Activision is the fact that XDefiant isn't going to have skill-based matchmaking in the casual matchmaking in the game, which for me, to be frank with you, is a huge interest point. It's one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to check XDefiant out. It's because there is no SBMM in casual. And for me, that's been one of the major pain points of recent Call of Duty. So for a lot of players, this is a huge reason why XDefiant is outclassing Activision. Another huge thing to mention is that players are seeing that Ubisoft looks to be a player-first developer for XDefiant. They are truly trying to make a game for the players and a game that they're going to enjoy to play for a long time. game. And a way to accomplish that is by not being pay to win. Mark Rubin has let us know that yes, this game is free to play, but it is not going to be pay to win. There's going to be things you can purchase and have a great time with, but there's going to be plenty of things for you to just simply unlock and achieve by playing the game. And that is a huge thing because Call of Duty in recent years has had a large number of microtransactions, even for being a full premium release where you have to shell out $70 or more to simply play the game. Okay, so at the end of the day here, what am I trying to get across? Okay, this game, XDefiant, looks like it is going to be a safe haven for a lot of players who are disgruntled and who feel ostracized by their current gaming communities. And a lot of these players that are coming over into XDefiant genuinely feel that XDefiant is outclassing Activision in a number of ways. Now the question is, what do you think? Do you think that XDefiant is outclassing Activision? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, give this video a like. Can we hit 200 likes on this video? That'd be absolutely fantastic. I don't really ask that question, but it's just kind of cool to see. So let's see. Can we hit 200 today? That'd be awesome. And if you want to catch more XDefiant content, like I said, I've got brand new YouTube videos and live streams coming to the channel here very, very soon. So definitely subscribe and hit the bell for post notifications. But I will see you guys in the next one.